What's the biggest question the Cowboys have to answer against the Chicago Bears? Because all of a sudden the Bears found a run game against Bill Belichick on Monday Night Football, running for over 240 yards, scoring 33 points in that game. Justin Fields actually looked like he knew what he was doing for the first time, it felt like, in quite some time. And Matt Eberflus, who, of course, is a former defensive assistant for the Dallas Cowboys, bringing his Chicago Bear team in at 3-4 against a Cowboys team 5-2, is about to go on their bye week once they finish up with Chicago on Sunday. So I posed a question to you to start off with. The biggest question the Cowboys have to answer in your mind against the Chicago Bears on Sunday afternoon.
Are y'all really about to stop some run games? Like, are y'all really about to stop the run, right? Or is this just going to be a flaw, right? Is this just going to be a weakness that's exposed through the season? Of course, it's still, I don't want to say early in the season, but it is, all things considered, right? You still have a good amount of the way to go on the season. And really, we all understand that this Cowboys team will not be judged on the win-loss record of the regular season, but really how they do come playoffs, right? And with that being the case, there's things that you can point to as weaknesses, but not very many on defense. This defense looks really nice. You're very happy with how it works. You're happy with a lot of the parts that you have. And especially you're happy with the hand that guides all of these things in Dan Quinn. All that being said, there is one glaring thing that you want from this defense is being able to at least contend against the run game. And you have not done that yet. And this offers a really interesting perspective or opportunity to do that with the team that runs the ball fairly well and seems to, at least for one game, have gotten a little bit of insight into how to unlock a quarterback who is capable of adding to the run game. And one thing I talk about a lot, and I'm sure a lot of other people do as well, I don't think that's novel, is the idea of the quarterback and their mobility adding to the numbers game of football, right? When you have a quarterback who's statuesque, who's back there in the pocket, you're playing 10v11. That's a little bit different. When that quarterback is now opportune to get into this game, whether it be scrambles or whether it be designed runs, you playing 11 on 11. And that's where it's a little tough because the offense understands what they intend to do. You are reacting, they are acting. And when that numbers game changes, it gets a little tougher. Are you capable of being able to corral that? And especially, and we've heard Bears players and coaches mention and talk about what the Lions went out and did against Micah Parsons, which is leaving him unblocked and making, or sorry, not the Lions, the Eagles rather, my apologies, did where they left him unblocked, and they did those things, right? Jeff Schwartz was talking about it this week where when he played, especially at Oregon, all the way back at Oregon in his senior year, one of the things that Chip Kelly wanted to do every time they faced a good defensive opponent, you actually want to leave that player unblocked, and so that you can do the whams and you can do the the counters and things of that nature and put them in tough situations. It seems like at least the Eagles have made that decision, and we know this league can be at times a copycat league. Will other teams make that decision? And with that being the idea, right, if they go to that, do you have that counteraction to that? Do you have an answer for what happens when teams are scheming their entire attack behind not letting Micah Parsons hurt them?
It's going to be interesting because I'm going to take it to the other side because this is a Bears pass defense that's number 2 in the NFL. So my biggest question going into Sunday is, will the real wide receiver room stand up, please? Because CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Noah Brown, who's dealing with a foot injury, these receivers need to find a way to get some more consistency. And Dak Prescott, who went 19-25 for 207 last week, played much better in the second half, and we know how good he was in play action. Only had one incompletion last week against play action. The Bears want you to throw the football because they believe in the guys that they have in that secondary with Jackson. Jaquan Brisker's been really good for them out of Penn State, the rookie there.
First interception last week.
That's right. So they've been really good in the pass defense department this year. And I want to see these receivers and these pass catchers start attacking the football, start making the kinds of plays that this group should be capable of, because as this season goes on, you've got to be able to find a way to score points. I know the run game has been the focal point of this team so far, but that may change a little bit because you're most likely not going to have Ezekiel Elliott on Sunday, who's dealing with a knee injury and a thigh bruise. So Tony Pollard is going to be RB1, it appears, on Sunday. Can Dak Prescott in this pass game find a way to gain more consistency and attack the Chicago Bears pass defense? to try and find a way to make some plays and to get some more explosive plays in the passing game as well. They're going to have a stiff test against a really good pass defense of Chicago on Sunday.
That's a great point. All of that, I think that you're right in that regard. Chicago is cool on like pass defense when it comes to like DVOA, pass DVOA. They're 12th in the league, so that doesn't necessarily strike me as incredible, although 2 spots or 3 spots above them is the Niners, and we usually look at them as a pretty good defense, although more often than not, you're looking at that pass rush than, the secondary. But I digress. You're right. This team is going to have to figure out a way to throw the football. You do want to be, or it does seem like all things have pointed towards being a run-first team, but it's not like you've been incredible at running the football. You've been pretty good. But we all understand that it hasn't been offense stirring the drink. It's been defense. Offensively, when it comes to efficiency, you've been average running the football, and you've been subpar throwing the football when it comes to efficiency on dropbacks. Now, you also consider that you had 5 games of Cooper Rush in there. So that does shift this a little bit. But what is the Dak Prescott helmed offense going to look like when you're throwing the football? And, what are the decisions going to be? Are you going to have to max protect a lot? Are you going to utilize play action properly to help open some of this stuff up? All that matters in this. Now, you made an interesting statement that I wonder how you meant it. You said more than likely, or something to that effect, and more than likely you're not going to have Ezekiel Elliott. Is that so? Because, Ezekiel Elliott working off rehab at practice both yesterday and today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, but Ezekiel Elliott likes being an Iron Man. And he is a tough son of a you-know-what, right? No, and I don't mean that to say nothing bad to Mama E. Let me just go ahead and clear that up right now. I ain't calling you no type of names. You're a lovely woman. But
I don't need Dawn canceling us on this show.
That's
okay?
right.
That.
We love the Elliott family.
Yes, we do.
I mean no harm, no ill will.
Shout out to Miss D. We love you.
That's right. However, right, Zeke is a tough dude. And he's the type of dude who plays through a PCL injury for the entirety of the season, despite what it does to him. Which
I blame the Cowboys as an organization for not sitting him down last year.
Is this a coaching staff that is going to learn that lesson, right? If he gets out here and puts his helmet on, is this a team that's going to run him out and still have equal share? Is it a team that's going to run him out and have him have a quarter of the share and then have Tony Pollard do a majority of the carries? And is that a bad thing, right? The idea of, if he's capable of playing him, but also understanding the differences in health that your guys have. I don't know necessarily what the exact right thing to do, but I do feel like being very careful and cognizant of the idea that a guy might be limited is something that they didn't do last year, and I would hope that they take account to this year.
Yeah, if they don't have Ezekiel Elliott, that's a big blow, because not only the balance between the two of them when it comes to the thunder-lightning combination that the two of them have really developed in the backfield, but in pass protection, Ezekiel Elliott is excellent. And we know how good of a blocker he is in helping out this offensive line at times. And we know that's not necessarily a strong skill of Tony Pollard when it comes to pass protection. So if you're going to be missing Zeke on Sunday, that really kind of hampers some things in terms of some pass protection that you can do and how you go about trying to stop, the front 4 and the front 7 of the Chicago Bears, who got a little bit weaker because they moved on from Robert Quinn, trading him, of course, to the Philadelphia Eagles. But you still have Roquan Smith there, who's a baller and can really find a way to get after the quarterback and play all over the place, in that Bears defense. This Bears team is averaging a league best 181 rushing yards per game.
Yeah, dog.
It's the first time since 1990 that they've held the top spot through week 7, and their 242 attempts are also more than any other team this season.
What?
Khalil Herbert is 9th in the NFL with 464 rushing yards this year and leads all NFL running backs, averaging 6.2 yards a pop every time he runs the football. Lamar Jackson is the one who leads the NFL in average yards per carry this year.
Okay, so again,
which goes to your point about stopping the run and why Big Jonathan Hankins being brought over from the Las Vegas Raiders. While, yes, you look at how long he's been in the league, 9-10-year veteran in the NFL, but at the same time, a need to be addressed if you're going to find a way to help your pass rushers be in better positions to get after the quarterback. Because if you could put Justin Fields in third and intermediate and third and long situations, you're going to give yourself a chance to, not only get after the quarterback sack-wise and pressure-wise, but now you're bringing into play guys like Trayvon Diggs and other guys who can get their hands on the football and make some things happen in the turnover department.
Yeah, but one thing that you also got to be very careful about is, obviously you do want those third down situations. Are you going to rally to the football and keep your eyes on this quarterback, right? Is it going to be a spy? Is it going to be playing zone defense so that you have guys facing the quarterback? Because I don't know if people think about this like the average football fan thinks about this. When you're playing man defense, right, you're covering individuals and your receivers and your cornerbacks, your secondary. They are paying attention to the man that they are covering, and they are not looking into the backfield more often than not. In zone, everybody has their face back to the quarterback and they're reacting in that way. And in that, the difference there is if a quarterback pulls the ball down and decides to run, you are more likely to quickly react in zone. But the thing that you're giving up now is that people can be able to find those soft spots in the zone and attack you. So I do wonder how that is balanced, right? What the decision is from Dan Quinn on how to make those balances, because it does seem like this team likes to play some man defense.
And when you look at the TroyRadio.com text line 877-881-1053, I like this question. Can they contain a mobile quarterback? Yeah, it wasn't great against the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts. While, yes, he didn't throw the football well, the RPO stuff, obviously making the Cowboys defense make decisions on who to go to and who to stay with, those things they had trouble with against the Philadelphia Eagles. How they account for Justin Fields and his ability to extend plays with his legs and make things happen. He had 82 yards on the ground himself against the New England Patriots on Monday Night Football. So you're going to be dealing with a guy that can move around, extend plays. He's still got a big arm. Not sure who he's going to be throwing the football to necessarily because his receivers aren't great, but you have to account for him in the run game as well as a part of that run game with David Montgomery and Khalil Herbert, who we were talking about.
And, I mean, you talking about the run game where I don't think Jalen Hurts hurt you too badly with his own legs. You did mention those RPO concepts, which were tough. You know who did hurt you with his legs? Daniel Jones. Right? Like, yes. And I readily acknowledge I'm not the person who sees, hey, white guy can't run. No. That dude has some mobility, and he did that. So I think that is one of those things that you have concern about. All things considered, I still like the way that this Cowboys team is situated for this, right? You have, a very good defense by all metrics and by the eye test. I mean, any way you slice it, this defense is very good. And this offense should be able to handle their business and do enough, especially considering that the Chicago Bears haven't been inept long enough, or more than they have been capable of doing their jobs in a way that makes me feel good about them. Even this game in which they put up 33 points was against the New England Patriots, who were in the midst of a quarterback controversy, right? Like it was not the circumstance where they went and beat up a particularly good team. Even understanding that there doesn't seem to be a lot of those in the NFL. They're playing a good team this week in the Cowboys.